Alright, so today you're going to be working on the new Ram 3500. So this is a Tradesman, and the Tradesmans don't come with fog lights. I think you can get the Bighorn. I think the Bighorns come with fog lights, or it's an option. I'm not sure, but it's not an option that I'm aware of on the Tradesman. So anyway, I bought the eBay set of the fog lights that are like the factory style of the Bighorn. So I'm going to be throwing them in today and seeing how easy or difficult those are to hook up and how good they work. But I'm going to wire them up to the Upfitter switches. So this truck has the Upfitter switches in it, and I'm going to wire these fog lights into that that switch bank on the dashboard. Try that out because I've never used it yet, and this is my second truck with it, so I'm going to utilize it on this one. Got a few other things. Going to wire the pump in that's in my auxiliary tank, and going to wire in another set of reverse lights, because this, being the Tradesman, has the regular halogen bulbs, and the Laramie I had the LED bulbs, or the LED lights in it, I guess, but they was super bright. Actually worked really good. These, you know, can't really see much behind me, and I'm this time of year starting to do a lot more in the dark, trying to back up and whatnot. So I'd like a better set of reverse lights, so we're going to do that, not in this video, but probably another video. But anyway, let's take a look at these fog lights, see what comes in the kit, and see if we can't get these things thrown in here pretty quick. Let's do it. Now, I've already opened this box and looked at it. This is the box that came in. Spider Auto, I don't know, just found it on eBay. But it comes with the new little light bezel, and it's got the knockouts, I guess, for the front park sensors, which this truck doesn't have. So I crawled on the truck and looked at it. These look to be the same, so we'll find out in a second. But comes with two of those. There's the other one, and then it comes with the little fog light, which I'm not gonna say it's good or bad, but as long as it lights up, I'll be all right, because I'll probably eventually replace this part with a better light anyway. So about the time I ordered these and got them in, I found a set online for really cheap, so, or a set of the OEM ones on Marketplace, so you know how that goes. But anyway, I'm gonna slap these in, and hopefully they do good enough for right now, and then, like I say, I'll eventually replace just this part here with a better light. But it comes with two of those as well, and then the wiring, which it does come with a relay and stuff, which this truck, like I say, has the Upfitter switches, so it has the relays already. And then actually comes with a set of instructions. Not sure how good those are, but we got them anyway, so probably won't utilize that much. Comes with the hardware. Yeah, let's see what we can do now. That little fog light block off plate, or whatever is that plastic cover that's in the bumper. Here's the back side of it, and it's got the framework right around here for the light to bolt into. So right there is a 8mm little nut. There's 4 of those around that cover. Can't really see them, but we'll take those 4 out so I can get the cover out, and then we'll get that other light stuck in here. But that's where we got to start. So I got this little cover out. There was actually 5 screws holding it in instead of 4. The other one was kind of hidden back in here toward the outside edge of the truck, and it was a little harder to get to, but all of them was actually pretty loose. That was the tightest one. I actually broke the other ones loose just by hand with the socket on the nut there, just twisted them loose. But anyway, here's the light. I'm assuming it goes in like this somehow. See if we can't get that thing in there. Not sure if we need to go from the back side or the front side, but it's looking like from the back side to get it to line up good. But yeah, this thing fits good. looks about right. So yeah, not too bad. So this, it came with little clips that I guess clip over some of these holes for the bolts or screws to hold this thing in place. So let's look at that and get them snapped in. I just got that setting up in there. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the lens ain't super clear. I don't know if it's just really dirty or what, but it looks kind of hazy. But anyway, not sure, you know, I may be counting wrong. I'm no mathematician, but 2 fog lights, 4 bolt holes in each fog light. The kit came with 4 bolts. So not sure if they gypped me or they just expect me to put 2 bolts into each light or what, but that's what I'm assuming anyway, because I dug through the box and through all the plastic in it, and there's no more bolts. So we're gonna throw 2 bolts in each light and see what it does. If it's still a little loose, I'll just put some hardware I've got. I got a bunch of different bolts and stuff I can throw in there, but yeah, we'll see what 2 bolts does for it. I haven't bolted it down all the way yet, but I decided to put my little clip here and then on this one up here. It's got 2 little alignment pins help line it up, but yeah, we'll see how that does. Not sure if it's supposed to snap onto the plastic or onto this thing, but I don't feel any way to snap it on the plastic, but you know, oh well. This is what it looks like it's supposed to do to me, so that's where it's going. Now we'll tighten those up, see how loose or tight the light is. If it moves around much, I might put an extra bolt or 2 in it, but kind of here give you an idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. So not too bad. Looks better than no fog lights, I think. So yeah, let's tighten these down and get this thing stuck together. So I snugged these down. You can tell it's a little loose. Now the kit did come with some zip ties. I just assumed that was for the wiring, but I don't know, maybe they want me to zip tie this thing together, but I feel like it should have came with 4 bolts for each light. Would have made a lot more sense, but oh well. I'll cobble this together so it don't move. I might even throw a zip tie on there myself to hold that a little more sturdy, but I don't think it's that big of a deal now. But it's too loose with just 2 bolts, I can tell you that. But yeah, anyway, let's get this cover bolted in here and see what it looks like. Now that's just snapped in, but it don't look too bad. Ain't done this side yet, which don't look bad without fog lights, but I don't know, I kind of like the fog lights. Give me a little bit more that lower down light, just in case of some fog. But yeah, let's put the bolts in this thing. All right, so I got the driver's side all bolted in. I think I invented a few new cuss words in the process, but it's just aggravating getting those 5 little bolts around the side of that cover in. So it's easier to not put the fog light in first, but bolt this thing in first, obviously, and then put the fog light in from the back and the bolts. So I put, like I say, just 2 bolts in the light. So I put this lower corner and this upper corner one, and then I put a zip tie on this part right here, the bracket on the fog lights on the back side. So it sturdied the light up a lot better. So now let's get the other side put in and then try to run the wire. The wiring harness looks a little short. I mean, it should reach from side to side, hopefully, but as far as getting up to the little wiring harness for the upfitter switches, I'm not sure. So I'm gonna throw this other light in real quick and see if we can't run this wire. So there's the fog lights in finally. This side wasn't as bad just because, you know, I'd already done the other side and kind of learned from my mistakes, but it's a little aggravating getting those little bolts in there to hold those fog light surrounds in. But still, 2 bolts and a zip tie in each light is what I put, and it's pretty solid, so I believe it'll be okay. So yeah, I like it. Glad to have those in now. So I'm going to see what I can do with the wiring now. So let's get that. So here's the harness. I laid it out this way. It's not real long, but it's long enough to reach from side to side for the lights. And then this is the part that's going to go up to the Upfitter switch, little wiring harness or whatever. So I'll get rid of this solenoid, or this relay, I mean. And I'll cut these wires off is what I'll wire it up with. There's a hot and a ground. So I'm pretty sure this ain't long enough to make it all the way, but we'll see. We might have to splice it together, but we'll go ahead and plug these into the fog lights. I mean, you can see they're little cheap plugs, but we'll plug them up and run the wires best we can, make it look good as we can, and see if this thing works. Don't look like it's got a certain way to go. Nothing that I can see. I guess that don't matter. There we go. So that plug does only go one way. I just luckily plugged it in right the first time. But I run the wire, you can see it comes over from the light right there. It comes over and then down through this little piece in the frame, comes out. Then I run it through these little tabs here all the way across the bottom of this little dam below the intercooler, up through this side of the frame, and it just reaches and plugs in over there. So this is my extra wire that's going to run up to the switches. So I'm gonna see if how long it is. It might reach up through there a ways, but I think I'm gonna end up having to splice it. So let's see where it'll reach to. I know you probably can't see it, but see that movement in there? That's the wire. It runs up by that intercooler tube up right here behind the battery cables, and guess what? It actually just reaches to where this plug is. So we'll splice. I'll probably just splice into the ground that's in one of these plugs here too, and tie it in there and see what we got. So I pulled the plug off the top, and this is the one. And I know you're not going to be able to see it with the GoPro, but these are numbered on here. Really faint numbers, but this is number 1. So this would be auxiliary switch number 1, which is, according to the paperwork or the literature I found online, was a 40 amp, which is what these fog lights call for. So I have the little pigtail that matches the color going into number 1. I guess that's right, I don't know. But I just took a tiny little screwdriver and then a little pair of needle nose pliers. I stuck the screwdriver under that little white clip right there above my finger, right there, and it raised it up just a little bit, and I used the little needle nose pliers and pulled on that little tab above that and pulled that little white thing up. So it's up maybe 1/4 of an inch or something. But if you look in the bottom of the hole where this little blade thing goes, there's a clip. So I'm assuming this goes with the whole side, which will be down right here where I got it. So that should click into place here if we got it in the right direction. So let's see here. So there it clicked. I heard it click. We got a good watertight connection now. So that should be good. For that, I think the ground is in the other plug, so let me look and see which one has the ground wire in it, and we'll hook that up too. So I'm just going to use butt connectors on these. These are the heat shrink style butt connector, so hopefully that'll work good. I don't anticipate too much of an issue, so this is probably what I'll use. But as far as the ground, I mean, I could ground right on the battery terminal, but I'm going to use the wire, and that way I can just use 2 butt connectors and not have to take anything loose. I just feel like that'll be easier for what I'm trying to accomplish here, which it don't really matter. There we go. We'll pull this wiring out so we can go ahead and get to it easier. Now these are teeny tiny wires for, like I said, the light's caught for 40 amp. That just looks too small to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I am no electrician. I probably used too big of a connector for this wire. It might stay in there. Run this behind all the wiring and stuff on the side of this battery so it's out of the way. There we go. Like I say, hopefully that's enough wire sticking out there. It's awful small wire. There we go. Seems to be holding on there. So now there's the hot wire. So we need this plug down here for the ground. Not even sure how to get that unplugged. There we go. Now, it came off just like that. So, according to my phone, it shows this as the ground. So we're going to hope that's correct. I'll double check with the paper that came with the wire in here. So yep, ground right there. So that's the ground. I wonder if it says on here anywhere. I don't see nothing. A little green booger comes out of there. We'll find the ground wire and all this tangle. That looks like a good ground wire right there. Yeah, that'll work. So I'll show you what I did on this to get that out of there. So I constantly use my little Swiss Army knife. So got the little power pliers. Got a little teeny tiny screwdriver for like eyeglasses, and I'll try to do this where you can see on here. Stick it right under that little blade in the middle, just enough to raise it up, and then I grab that top part with the pliers and pull it out. And there we go. All it takes. So now let's put our ground wire in. Same thing, there's the hole in the ground wire, which will go down like this toward the little catch inside there. So, yeah, that's still, yep, okay, we're in the right spot. So, got that blade in there. Let's see if we can hear it click. Yep, there we go. So now that that's in and the hot wire's in, we'll push the little this white part back in here till it snaps. There, that snapped in. Make sure I done this one. I don't think I did. That one snapped in. All good. So we'll skin this ground wire back and splice it on and cross our fingers that everything's good and that our fog lights work. I'm excited to use the Upfitter switches. I haven't, like I say, this is my second truck with them, and I didn't use them in the mega cab, so I'm excited to just use them. There we go. Now I will tidy these up, but I'm going to plug them up and see if they work. We'll fix all that in a minute. So I can't remember what way the factory switches are hooked up, but we might have to change the settings in the Upfitter little menu thing to make it so, like, I want the fog lights to only work, say, with the ignition on and go off if I turn the key off. So we'll make sure that auxiliary 1 is set to that, and should be good to go. So let's go check that out. So I cheated already and looked. I turned the auxiliary button on without the key on, and it instantly came on, so the fog lights do work. But I want to get in the menu here and see what's get it set the way I want. So commercial settings, that's what it's called. So why is it not entering my settings? Oh, there we go. So 0000, I guess. So auxiliary switches. We'll go to aux 1. So we want latching. Go back. So power source, we want ignition. Okay, so let's see, there we go. Nah, we'll just leave that off. So we'll turn it on every time. So every time that I want my fog lights, I'll have to manually turn this button on. So I think what that does is it will remember the last setting. So like if I had the fog lights on, say in the nighttime, and then got up the next morning to drive the truck, the fog lights would still be on. So I don't want it to do that. I want it left or to go off each time. So we got all this. So I guess that's set. So let's exit out of this. Now turn the truck off. So now the ignition is off and the button don't work. So we'll turn the ignition to accessory. Don't work. Turn the truck on. So the truck is on now and it'll stay on. So let's get out and check the lights out. So there we go. We got fog lights now. Both of them work. I have no idea how they're aimed, but hopefully they're not too bad off, because I don't really know how the adjustment is on that. But yeah, awesome. Glad of that. Sweet. So now let's tidy up the wiring. Maybe heat shrink those fittings or those splices if I can, and we'll call this one done. Well, it shrank on that little wire. Can't say how tight it's going to be, but I think my lighter's about to die. We'll wrap some black tape around that. That'll fix it, won't it? I know. It's not pretty, but it's pretty enough. So, it works. I'm pleased with it. Actually, really happy. So, got fog lights now. Don't look so much like a Pedant model, but it's nice. I like it. Glad to have those in. Wasn't too bad of a job. Really glad I got the Upfitter switches and actually used them this time. So I think these wires may run to the back, if I'm not mistaken. Is that a thing? That these wires run to the back of the truck somewhere, so I can just wire me in some reverse lights here and my fuel pump maybe for my transfer tank. I don't know, so I'm gonna look more into that. I think that's what those are though, but if not, I'll just have to run the wire back there. But yeah, glad to have that done. And let's see if we can get this cover back on here. Yeah, there we go, professional. So yeah, we got fog lights now, and got the reverse lights to wire up and the fuel tank, and we'll be done with all the wiring. I'll probably just stop this video here, and it'll be its own video for each of the other things. So yeah, looks good. I like it. Let's get on to something else. Here is my little outside lights on, so can't really tell much, but here's the fog lights by themselves. Not too bad of a pattern. It's kind of like normal fog lights. So let's see. There's the headlights. Fog lights off. Fog lights on. And that's on low beam. Let's go over in the middle. It's pretty even. Not too bad. Turn these back off again, and here's just the fog lights again. So looks about like factory brightness to me. I honestly can't tell, but it looks about like what I would expect normal headlights to be, or normal fog lights to be. There's the fog lights off again, on again. So there they are, lit up with the low beams on. Yeah, looks good. Sweet.